trail is a thicket. Doesn't even like it. Clearly no one comes down here. I'm the first one. Take a look, chaps, at this. Out of the ferns. So I'll just discuss briefly some of my recommendations for hiking in Taiwan, Formosa. I do encourage you to look at my introductory videos section, which explains some of the suggestions I have. But here I'll just outline a few. Hiking in the Fujian district today and yesterday. It's been apparent to me very important to take a hat. I've had flies and bees buzzing around my head. They didn't bother me because of the hat. It's absolutely filthy now, of course. Then of course the gloves for holding on to ropes. You will cut your hands to pieces if you don't wear a good pair of gloves on the way up hiking a mountain, particularly up a trail up to a ridge. And the hiking pole, indispensable for balance, for helping on the way down. I can make sure I'm very stable and balanced, not going to fall over if I put this out in front of me. So I have at least 3 points of contact with the ground. Also set up your backpack. All the straps should be tightened correctly every time it's taken off. Go through the process, the waist strap of course first, and then these side straps. There are two, pulling it in towards my back, and this is very important for balance of the pack, this strap across the front. So otherwise, navigation on this hike in Fujian district, up to Dai Fushishan. I've really found that navigation is important. Bring a watch with you with some navigation. This is a Garmin Instinct Solar 2X. Very important to watch it every few minutes. Make sure there's no deviation from the trail. So there are no obvious streamers in this section of the trail. So I'm using my watch to take a look. It's actually saying, I don't know if you can see that, saying I'm off to the left of the trail, slightly south of it. So I need to head in that direction to find the trail. Just an example of how I navigate. And if that's not any good, I'll use the phone, of course, to have a more precise coordinates of where I am with regard to the trail. Let's see if we can pick it up. Here we are. There's a good illustration then of navigation by the watch. Found it. And of course I have a phone in my pocket with the Gaia GPS map application with offline maps, so ensure safety by knowing where you are at all times. It's also very important to consider clothing during this time of the late summer, early autumn. There is a lot of activity for hornets and tiger bees, so wearing some clothes which are light in colour, nothing bright. Don't wear any sort of fragrance or perfume, deodorant, unfortunately. And also don't expose food to the air. Keep it wrapped up and sealed up in bags. So these are all possibilities for attracting hornets and bees. This is really the only danger that I experience out here in the mountains of Formosa. Wild animals like wild boar, muntjac, deer, and others like ferret badgers, they just leave me alone. I don't even see them most of the time. It's a very safe environment. Most difficult part is climbing the mountains, so it's actually very challenging. There are mountains everywhere, so hiking requires a certain level of fitness and determination, perseverance. Don't give up, and don't camp under deadwood. There's a lot of deadwood here. Chances of it falling on my tent are very small, but best not to take that risk. So I'm descending down this almost vertical slope. As one can see, there is even a rope here to help people come down. So my advice in this situation is to always take this type of descent backwards. It's easier then to find a footing, and it's much more stable. Heading down face first is asking for trouble. So let's do it. Gloves are on now, in case anyone's wondering. I'm still using the hiking poles, although there are trees to hold. So I always recommend holding on to a very solid tree like this. It's going to be your best companion on a descent and climbing as well. I would always choose the ropes first and then the tree. So there are some more considerations for safety out here in the forests and mountains of Formosa or Taiwan. Now, maybe most important of these is to have really good footwear which is suitable for this terrain. So footwear with a good tread on it, which can protect your ankles, particularly if you hit some of the rocks or the bases of trees here. This could be quite painful, so I think some sort of ankle protection and a very good tread on the shoes. It's also important to note that there are many obstacles on these wild hiking trails in the mountains. So the trails I follow are not the ones that most tourists would take. These have fallen trees. Sometimes there are landslides, there are rocks in the middle of the trail, and diversions up steep slopes. So this has to be considered as well. It's very important to be sure of what is going to be along the trail and be prepared for it. So don't take a very heavy backpack, but do take enough food, high calorie food, and enough water for the distance of the hiking trail. Don't come out when it's raining heavily, and wait a few days for the forest to dry, and it will be much safer, because the rocks, particularly on these wild trails into the mountains, can be very slippery and very dangerous. So we found a fallen tree directly across the trail, so I can illustrate what I was saying earlier about having to overcome obstacles along the hiking trail. This one is quite easy, I can just duck underneath. Well, there is the hiking backpack. Oh, look at this thing. Also watch out for thorns. They're like vines, and if they grab hold of your clothes or your backpack, then it's very hard to break free. So, what other safety concerns are there out here in the forests and mountains? Well, plants are one. There are many different types of plants, but some of them are poisonous to touch, so I always suggest wearing a pair of gloves. If their leaves are touched accidentally, then it won't cause any problems. It's mostly like a stinging nettle type of thing, may cause a rash, nothing too serious. Apart from plants, at certain times of the year there are giant spiders, tend to be found on the trails less used, lower altitudes, I think north facing mountains, prone to having these large spider webs, and the spiders are very colourful, red, orange, yellow, blue, size of my hand or bigger than that, and I'm sure the colour is fairly obvious. That is quite a poisonous animal there, so best to don't touch it, leave it alone, walk around it. There's also a lot of dirt and various dead leaves, dead material coming down from the tops of the trees above me. You can see here there's a constant flow of material from the trees down to the ground, and that will land on your head if you're not careful. So the most egregious of these falling articles are leeches. So the last thing one wants is a leech landing on the arms or legs or head. They tend to detect when a person's coming, and they will fall off plants like these onto your person if they can, particularly during wet weather. So be aware coming out in the jungle after it's been raining or while it's raining. There is a prevalence for leeches in some mountains more than others. And it may seem obvious, but always watch each step. Everywhere I place my foot, I'm watching. It means I walk fairly slowly on the trail, but surely, and that's the important part. If I walk at a slow pace, I'm conserving energy. I'm also paying attention to where my feet are being placed, not on any loose rocks, loose ground. As we've seen on this expedition in Fujian, and also gives time to think about the route and the directions. There's no need to hurry up on your way up the mountain and then make a mistake and have to turn back, change direction. Right, my last point about being safe while camping in Formosa. My recommendations. I think it's best illustrated by this grass here. This can be found on many mountains, particularly at high elevations. It will actually cut through the skin like butter, like a knife through butter, I should say. So it's always best to wear some sort of long sleeves, and of course long trousers, and wear gloves, because usually the trail will be directed through this grass and it's unavoidable to touch it. So I hope that's been useful today. These are my recommendations. Let me know in the comments if you have any other thoughts on this subject of safety when while camping. Well, until the next introductory video, I wish you good health. I'll see you on the next trail.